Your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, another tricky travel night across central Illinois with snow and ice out there. That's our roofing dog on it for you, America camera. As you can see, almost a little bit of a glint and glare off of the roads there. What we want to do is actually show you what it looks like with our travel map here with road conditions. That purple color, that's going to be mostly covered in snow. Decatur, it's going to be Macon County down to Moultrie County there as well. As we take a look at some other traffic cams from across the area, US 45 at Windsor, and then even down around Danville. You can see a lot of the roads there do have some snow on them, and you need to be careful if you're going out and about as we get into this evening. Snow-covered roadways are going to be an issue. And another band of snow is setting up and moving in across the area. You can see this next band getting ready to roll in, and more snow is on the way as the temperatures stay very cold for us tonight. We're going to see future wind chills tomorrow morning that are going to be back down to below freezing across the area, so be on the lookout for that. We've got more from across the area covering your weather all the way from Springfield to Danville to Gibson City, south to Effingham. We'll have more coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
There was a car sitting there with a bullet hole in the back window.
HSI neighbors in Decatur say they were shocked to see after dozens of bullets were fired into homes and cars. Good evening, I'm Paul Chikina.
And I'm Jessica Coons. This situation is maddening to people who live near the crime scene and others who are trying to stop violence in their community. Decatur police were called to Ravenna Park Road and North Longwood Drive yesterday morning. WCIA 3's Jen Lask went to the scene today. So Jen, what did you find out?
Jessica, police found more than 30 shell casings at the scene, and community members are worried. The violence around the city is getting worse. It's a sight Jim Estelle didn't expect to see on Tuesday.
When the wife and I left, we got up to the stop sign at Linwood and Ravenna Park Road, and there was a car sitting there with a bullet hole in the back window. And I just noticed it because the snow was melted around the window, about around the bullet hole.
Police say that car, along with 3 homes, were hit by gunfire. There were 32 shell casings at the scene. Witnesses say one of the suspects showed up in a dark-colored car. They were described as being very skinny, but that's all that police have to go off of so far. No one was hurt. Police later learned another apartment building and car a few blocks away near Florian Avenue and Kenwood Court were hit by bullets. That's where we found Estelle, who says his neighborhood is incredibly safe and trusting.
We've been over here for 2 years and haven't had any problems at all.
I spoke with activist Elijah England about the investigation.
That's a lot of, casings to find.
The news of yet another act of violence leaves him frustrated and hurt for his community.
It's just the same thing over and over again for us, For me, it's painful because we've tried so hard to get the community involved and to get the city involved and getting a handle on the violence in our city.
And just as Estelle was surprised at his street becoming a crime scene, England is worried the violence is getting worse.
Shootings like this are kind of like a cancer, and they can really grow and become an issue and spread out throughout the whole of Decatur.
Police say if you have any information, to give them a call. Live in the newsroom, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jen, thank you. Decatur Police Chief Jim Getz says in 2020, there was a 27% increase in robberies, an 18% increase in homicides, a 40% increase in burglaries, and just over double the number of shootings. Overall, there was a 30% increase in violent crimes from the previous year. 2 people are in custody after Springfield police say they found an AR-15 style rifle in their vehicle. Police were first responded to a shots fired call where surveillance footage gave them a vehicle description. A Springfield Park District officer later found the truck, but the driver parked and the suspects ran. They were eventually caught. Police then found the rifle with a magazine containing 17 live rounds inside of that truck. The suspects' names have not been released.
New at 10, crews in Charleston battled a house fire after neighbors say they heard an explosion. Happened at the end of a cul-de-sac on Rosewood Court. RBD News says the Coles County Sheriff heard the explosion and says the homeowners had been experiencing some furnace problems. Firefighters also say it may have been a gas explosion. Everyone did make it out safely. The CDC now says wearing a medical mask under a cloth mask substantially improves the containment of COVID-19. Wearing two masks blocked up to 95% of particles by reducing the gaps around the edges where the virus could sneak in. A more tightly fitted surgical mask can get similar results. The CDC says these strategies may provide better protection for Americans from the new COVID-19 variants spreading across the world.
The science is clear. Everyone needs to be wearing a mask when they are in public or when they are in their own home, but with people who do not live in their household. This is especially true with our ongoing concern about new variants spreading in the United States.
36 states now have mask mandates, including, of course, Illinois. State's positivity rate remains at 4%, but more than 2,800 new infections were reported in the last 24 hours. State also said 53 more people have died since yesterday. Taking a look at vaccination rates, close to 1.5 million shots have been given so far, and the state's averaging more than 55,000 doses a day for the last week. More than 2.5% of the state is fully vaccinated. The state's expanding the number of people who can get those vaccinations in Group 1B starting February 25th. It'll now include people 16 and older with comorbidities and underlying conditions. Those include cancer, COPD, diabetes, heart conditions, and more. Full list is on our website.
Two women in Champaign are trying to inspire COVID-19 vaccine confidence to people in the community. Danielle Wilberg and Betsy Holder created a Facebook page called Champaign-Urbana COVID Vaccine Outreach. Their goal is to help people who are hesitant to get the vaccine by providing information from health officials. They even had a panel of Black community public health leaders talk about why this vaccine is so important.
Our role is bringing in the right people to talk about that, address it, and all of that information is out there for people to be able to self-educate.
You can't make somebody get a vaccine, but it's just giving them the right information to making it accessible across the board.
They're also helping seniors who may have trouble signing up to get a vaccination. We'll put a link to their page on WCIA.com. Several people who are homeless were able to get their first doses of the vaccine this week. 20 were able to get vaccinated at CU at Home thanks to the continuum of service providers for the homeless. Many of CU at Home staff will get their second doses later this week.
We have new details about Decatur Public Schools' plan for in-person learning after spring break. The district reworked its bus routes, setting up 71 routes with 75 confirmed drivers. This all comes after All-Town Transportation requested more money in October and last month from the superintendent, who didn't tell the board about concerns of a driver shortage until it was too late. Amazon delivery drivers visit a lot of homes, but one driver is concerned after finding something offensive while dropping off a package in Piatt County. WCIA 3's Bryce Beeman joins us now. So, Bryce, tell us what happened.
Well, Jordan Lee found a stone with a racial slur on it, and he has a message for the people who own it.
I don't want to hurry up and run and get off their property, for one, but I do want to, but I don't want to run and then look suspicious.
Those are the thoughts that ran through Jordan Lee's head when he delivered an Amazon package to a Mansfield home and found this stone with a racial slur.
No matter what, they should be culturally sensitive enough to know that if they are raccoon hunting, put raccoon.
He says he was scared for his wife and son who were making deliveries with him and in the car. He was even more on edge because the car is not marked as an Amazon vehicle.
My stomach immediately dropped. It was like a feeling of disgust, for one, wondering if that's what I was actually reading, and also at the same time fearful.
He wants the public to know that even if the homeowners did not mean it in that way, people need to understand how offensive their words can be.
You should know not to have that on your property. I mean, it's your freedom of speech, but if you want people of all different backgrounds to feel comfortable delivering to you and not feel fearful, you should remove that.
Village of Mansfield board members are not taking this lightly.
We need to figure out who it is so that we can go speak to the homeowner and find out what's going on there. Because by all means, Mansfield does not condone, anything racially or anything of that nature.
They say when they get the address of the homeowner, they plan to speak to them.
It's, not okay, and ask them to remove the rock from their yard.
Board member Lucas Gilbert says he already spoke to the sheriff about it, and it's a sticky situation.
There's really not a whole lot legally we can do with it being on private property and free speech.
Lee told his Amazon branch manager the manager sent a report on to a higher up position at Amazon. Lee is waiting to hear back if the household will be banned for future deliveries. Back to you.
Yeah, that is rough, obviously. Hopefully, some way there's going to be a resolution.
Definitely.
All right, Bryce, thanks. Now, if you are a delivery driver, here are some safety tips. Hopefully you already know. Be aware of your surroundings. You can have a camera on your car or clothing and have 911 accessible on your phone.
Now from your local election headquarters, Champaign County has 5 new early voting locations for the consolidated primary election that's coming up on February 23rd. Those are Illini Union, Leonard Recreation Center, Meadowbrook Community Church, Parkland College, and the Church of the Living God. For more information, along with dates and times, you can go to WCIA.com. House lawmakers met back inside the State House for the first time in nearly a year today, but the next time the House meets, it'll be over Zoom. New Speaker Chris Welch adopted new rules today, allowing committees to meet online. The new rules will let every bill get assigned to a committee. They will also include another popular idea Republicans promoted, that's leadership term limits, capping the Speaker and Minority Leader to 10 years in office. But still, no Republicans voted for the Speaker's new rules.
Sometimes you need a little help to solve a problem. What a group of girls did for one couple.
Plus, you know radio personalities by their voice, how one is using his to inspire the next generation.
Kevin's still cold, not quite as snowy as it was earlier.
That's right, and Valentine's Day is looking nice and cold out there. 3 degrees is the high temperature that we are forecasting under partly cloudy skies. All right, when we come back, it's more details about the snow and the dangerous cold that's on the way.